I've just installed this very nice sill and wooden surround on the internal window of my workshop, and in this video I'll show you all of the steps that you need to go through to do exactly the same thing. The piece of wood that I'm going to be using for the windowsill is this. It's been in my shed for about 4 or 5 years, so it is nice to finally have a purpose to using it. And this is the window that I'm going to be fitting it around on the inside of my workshop. I started off by cutting both ends of this piece of timber with my miter saw, just to make sure that I had a nice clean finish, and I made sure to leave about 30mm on either end of the windowsill. I used that same piece of scrap wood to test all of my cuts before committing to those cuts on the larger piece. And after making those cuts on the scrap piece first, I was very happy with how this fit was going in. So I made those same cuts on the actual windowsill. In order for the windowsill to push nicely back against the window, I did need to remove the corners at the back of both ends, and I did find the easiest way to do that was using this festal jig thing that I found online. I've got to say I was very nervous with the jigsaw here. I tend to find every time I use a jigsaw I take off too much and make mistakes, but this time it actually went really well. My top tip here is just really keep an eye on that pencil line and be consistent. Aim to just remove the pencil line and nothing more, and take it slow. There's no need to rush this. And it was just a little bit tight here, so I just removed some of that. So one of the sides fit nice and tight, and the other side there was probably about a 3 or 4mm gap between the windowsill and the actual wall. And as far as I could tell, this is because the window itself was about 4mm out of level. So the way I decided to combat this was setting up my track saw and taking off that small slither off the other end, which should mean that this pushes nicely up against that window and does lay flat against the wall. So you can see that I've got my 4mm marked out here, and then down here I've got the track literally set to cut off nothing, and that's because I don't want to cut off anything here. And this was incredibly satisfying. Taking that slither off the back did mean that it fit nice and tight, which was perfect. After sanding the entire piece, I did notice this little chip on the front corner, and I didn't want that to get worse over time. So the way I decided to combat that was by just taking a little diagonal off of the entire length using my router. The next thing I needed to do was cut out some pips to fill in the holes where I'm going to screw this down into the frame below it. And I'm pretty sure my pip screwer thing is not very sharp, which is why it's smoking so much. I'm not sure it's meant to do this, but I don't do this often, so I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments what is meant to happen. And if that same person could recommend a decent set of pip drilling bits, I would be very happy to hear about that. Funny story, I still have no idea what this wood is, so if you're watching this video and you know, please leave a comment and let me know below. I would be very interested to find out what wood my windowsill is made out of. And before I could call this project done, I used some of this pine wardrobe that I've had in my shed for about a year now, just to trim the edges and the surround of the window. If this is the first time you're seeing me use my workshop and you're wondering why it's so empty, well, it's because I've just built it and I've done an entire series on how, and you can check that out by visiting my channel. You can't miss it. Yeah, this was super annoying. I don't think I was holding that nail gun quite right, so it did actually cause the nail to go through the front. Luckily, the next step of the project was actually filling in all of those nail holes, so by the end of the project, you didn't actually see this was done. Finally, I gave the entire thing about 2 coats of undercoat and 2 coats of finishing white gloss, and this is what the final product looks like. I am super happy with how this project went, and I've got to say it was really nice to just do some honest woodworking and not review a tool or build a workshop. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please leave a comment and a like, and do consider subscribing for more videos like this one. And until next time, happy building.